Test number 1 is one of my favorite practice tests, and question number 3 here is one of my favorite questions in this test because it really just cuts to the core of what the SAT is all about, right? You just follow instructions, you go where you're supposed to go, and the answers are there. You just got to know how to find them. So what are we told to do? It's a vocab question, but it's a little weird. We have 2 line references instead of 1, but the word is the same. Directly and 65, here it is, directly. So I cut just everything else out, just those lines are what we care about because it's a vocab question. We don't really need much of the context, just like a little narrow slice. Now when I do this, I am looking for things that match, right? Because that's usually a sign that I'm on to the right idea. So find matching ideas matters in all sorts of places. But watch what's going to happen here. Akira came directly, breaking all tradition. Was that it? Had he followed form? Had he asked his mother to speak to his father to approach a go-between? Would she have been more receptive? Nothing unusual there, but let's go to line 65 and kind of read around that. We have an understanding. Please don't judge my candidacy by the unseemliness of this proposal. I ask directly because the use of a go-between takes much time. Well, go-between is a really weird phrase that I don't think I ever use, but they're using it twice in the same exact lines that they're telling us to look at for the same exact word directly. So it probably means that my guess has something to do with that word, right? I want to try to guess what directly means in this context based on the clues that are around it, and this word go-between seems important. So what are they saying about the go-between? Well, had he asked his mother to speak to his father to approach a go-between, would she have been more receptive? So he's breaking the tradition, let's use a different color here, breaking the tradition about the go-between, and here he's not using a go-between because it takes a lot of time. So my guess for what's going on is that there's no go-between. Now that is still a weird phrase, but let's try to, break that apart. A go-between, they're talking about another person. So a no person to kind of make these two people get together, to match them up. So what matches with that from our choices now? So does frankly mean that you don't have a person bringing people together? I almost said the answer here. Bringing people together? No, being frank means being honest. This has nothing to do with honesty, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Confidence also has nothing to do with a person being, like a go-between. It's just a random kind of word. We don't have any evidence here that confidence is important to this word directly or to these 2 line references. Without mediation. Now, mediation is a tough word, but I almost said it a bunch of times when I was trying to explain what go-between means. So a go-between is a mediator. So when they're breaking form here, breaking tradition, and not using a mediator or a go-between to mediate this meeting, then that's because they're going directly. They're just kind of Akira is just kind of getting to the house, knocking on the door and saying, I want to marry your daughter. Basically, that's what's happening in the passage. But that word mediation is tricky. But the other words and these other choices, we know. We know what frank means. Hopefully, it's a little hard. But we know what confidence is. We know what precision is. And we don't see any words in these line references that match with those ideas. Right? There's nothing here that talks about confidence. There's nothing that talks about precision. I don't even know what that would mean. And there's nothing here that talks about honesty or openness. And so those ideas that we do understand, we're not finding matches for. So even if you don't know what mediation means, it's a really good choice to pick because odds are good that there's a match there because there isn't a match for anything else. That's how we have to approach the SAT a lot of times. So that's why I really, really like this question is it gets a lot of cool, important, strategic SAT concepts into just one small question. And this thing that they did with that word go-between being repeated, this is not just good luck. They do this a lot. So that's why find matching ideas is such an important strategy because they repeat themselves so that you can see the evidence that you're going to need to answer the question. Look for the repetition and you'll find a lot more of the answers.